The NFC East, or the NFC least last season, was won by the Washington football team, despite only winning 7 games. Many people call it the worst division in the NFL. However, with a lot of recent free agent moves, this division is actually starting to really intrigue me, and I'm starting to become very interested in this division. And in today's video, let's talk about who could possibly come out on top and be the NFC East champions in 2021. Before we do get started, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, as it really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy the content on here so you don't miss out on any new videos. Plus, we're on the road to 500 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I will do a reaction to my first 2 videos ever and a Q&A. But with that being said, let's get this video started. Now, I know I'm gonna get clowned on for including the Cowboys on this list, since the NFL, they hate the Cowboys, especially NFC East fans. While Dallas is the king of underachieving, I still think they can notch at least 9 wins in 2021. A healthy Dak Prescott should be coming back. They still got a really decent offensive line, especially barring injury. Plus a great supporting cast in general. I think Zeke can bounce back, and he's still one of the best running backs in the NFL despite having a down year. And they have one of the best receiving corps in the NFL, with Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. This offense alone should be able to keep Dallas in a lot of games, and I think we all know how good their offense can be. However, the biggest weak point by far is the defense. Last year, they were atrocious defensively, and while they did improve a little bit at the end, they were still terrible, finishing 28th as a unit, allowing almost 30 points per game, were the 11th best passing defense, and they were just the 31st, rushing defense. Now, there is no doubt they must improve defensively, especially if they do want to, finally win a Super Bowl since 1996. The front 7 was very disappointing, but if they can perform up to what their talent level says they should, they can instantly improve. Plus, if Dan Quinn is at least a decent defensive coordinator or like a pretty good one, then this defense should also be able to take another leap from being an awful one to being at least an average one. Plus, Mike McCarthy, he just has to be a decent coach. Now, maybe that is going to be too much for him, too much to ask for, but hey, if Mike McCarthy is a decent coach, I definitely think the Dallas Cowboys can be a decent team. Not only that, but they will own the 10th pick in this year's draft, and they can improve that and use that to help improve their team. And while they are the kings of disappointing, the Cowboys, they should certainly be an above average team at the very least, and should be in the conversation of winning this division. Washington was a massive surprise last season, going 7-9 and of course winning the division, and it finally looked like they found a crack of light in the cave they were in, and they got a bright future ahead of them, and made some good additions in free agency. They did bring back Taylor Heineke, who was really good in the games in which he did play for them, and they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. We don't know who the day 1 starter will be, but if the starting quarterback can be decent, then this team should be really good. The weapons on this team, they're nice, I'll say that. Terry McLaurin is one of the best receivers in the NFL already and should be a great security blanket for whoever is under center. Not only that, but they went ahead and got a good number 2 receiver in Curtis Samuel to play in the slot for them. Logan Thomas also deserves a mention as he had a good year for DC. And to wrap up this offense, Antonio Gibson should be a nice option to hand the ball off to. But Washington's defense should be the main thing keeping them in games. Last year, this defense established themselves as one of the best units in the league, placing 4th best overall, allowing just 21 points per game. They were 2nd in pass defense and 13th in rush defense. They got a great front 7 led by Chase Young. And they also got guys like Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Matt Ioannidis, and more. The secondary is also very solid as they went out and signed William Jackson, who adds to a secondary with Kendall Fuller and Cameron Curl. They also got Ron Rivera, who is a very, very good coach, and in my opinion, kind of underrated, and he could be a candidate for Coach of the Year next season. I do also think the football team in 2021 could be a legit playoff team, and they have an above 500 record with their stout defense and the nice weapons on offense. However, it is all going to depend on the QB play for them. And if it's decent, then this team could be very scary, as I said before. I mean, first off, they got really good weapons to work with, a pretty good coach, and one of the best defenses in the NFL to bail them out. Whatever it is, I do think Washington can be a really good team this upcoming season. The final team, of course, is the G-Men. Like the football team, the Giants were expected to be one of the worst teams in the league coming into the year. However, they did better than expected, finishing with a 6-10 record, and Joe Judge did a great job as the head coach. New York had one of the best defensive units in the league, led by guys like James Bradberry, Leonard Williams, Jabril Peppers, and more. After the 2020 season, I felt like New York had finally had a bright future ahead of them, and all they needed was some better weapons on offense and some decent quarterback play. And they did just that in free agency, at least the weapons part. They were able to acquire Kyle Rudolph, who, although he is aging, is still a pretty decent tight end. And the biggest of them all, Kenny Golladay. Daniel Jones finally has solid weapons, and as of course, he's already gotten the aforementioned Kenny Golladay and Kyle Rudolph, plus Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and of course, Saquon Barkley will be coming back. If Saquon can stay healthy, I think he can be one of the best running backs in the league and prove to the league why he was, really hyped up after his 2018 rookie season. The Giants' offense is much improved, and that paired with their defense should make them a serious threat to win the NFC East. Now, we also have to mention the fact that they own the 11th pick in the draft, and they have a lot of options with that pick. We don't know what they'll do with it, but hey, that 11th pick can be used to help improve their team. But the big X factor for this team is easily Daniel Jones. Now, Daniel has not been that great for the Big Blue, but at the same time, he has not had great circumstances around him. I mean, the offensive line hasn't been good. He's had to deal with, bad coaches for the most part, well, aside from Joe Judge, and the weapons he had to work with on offense were not exactly that good. However, now he has pretty decent circumstances, and this will be his make or break year. But the Giants should be a pretty decent team next year, and it will really just depend on Daniel Jones and how he plays. But if Daniel Jones does end up playing pretty well, then I do think the Giants could possibly win this division. Now, with all three of those teams laid out, who do I ultimately have winning the NFC East? Personally, I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Now look, I can already feel the dislikes and the hate comments coming. Look, I know the Cowboys are known for underachieving, however, they should be at the very least in contention for the division. The reason why I got Dallas winning is, first off, well, it really just comes down to one thing, and that is the quarterback play. They are definitely the most certain out of all three of those teams when it comes to the quarterback position, as, well, they got the best quarterback in the NFC East. Their offense should be good enough to keep them in a lot of games, as I said before in the Cowboys segment. And I do expect their defense to improve, even if it's not, a top 5 defense in the league. I definitely expect some improvement from the defense. And if the coaching is defense and the offense plays like expected, and they improve defensively, this team, they should be pretty good. However, while I do have the Cowboys winning the division, that does not mean the other two can't win at all. I mean, there's a reason why I gave them cases to win the NFC East. If Washington has decent quarterback play, then they could be a 10-11 win team and could definitely edge out the Dallas Cowboys. Same with the New York Giants. However, whoever wins this division ultimately, I do think it will be a close race between all three of these teams. And all I can say is that I'm very excited for the NFC East, and it is going to be a very fun division to watch. However, with that being said, that'll be the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy the content on here so you don't miss out on any new videos. Plus, we're on the road to 500 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I will do a reaction to my first 2 videos ever, plus a Q&A. The support lately has been amazing, and we are very close to that goal, so help us reach 500. But with that being said, I'm out, you guys.